¿Qué tal, gente? ¿Cómo están? Acá estamos iniciando un nuevo episodio de Council. Por fin salió a la luz el nuevo episodio, El Cónclave. Este esperado juego que es muy interesante, muy emocionante y con ansias lo estoy ya deseando jugar. Vamos a ver qué tal nos va. Comenzamos a la partida en donde nos quedamos. Vamos a ver qué pasa.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several months?
Comenzamos con lo que es el recuento de toda la historia de como siempre.
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon.
I'll be leaving now because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Perú.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough, the woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Esa gente, ¿no? Ahí, al toque todos se quieren echar el pato. Bueno, nos dan 3 puntos. Vamos a ver qué escogemos. Tenemos ciencias, ocultismo, que de por sí ya tengo, erudición, habilidad de distracción, engaño, ya estoy saturado de engaño. Tengo 3 y una página de estas. No sé dónde estarán las otras páginas. Problemas graves. Erudición. De ahí. Humani Corpus Fabrica. Libro seminal y referente al absoluto de la anatomía humana. Más un punto de habilidad en ciencias. Tengo un puntazo. Falta uno. ¿Y este qué es? Ya tengo deducción acá. Más ciencias. Estoy en una duda entre estos dos. A ver cómo estamos. Ya estamos en nivel 2, estamos más que bien. Bien. Distracción. Espérate. Ya ves, no tengo nada. Política, lingüística. La madre. Ya fue ya, caballero. A ver qué nos dan. No tengo nada nuevo. Todo como siempre. Y iniciamos esta historia. Nos quedamos en este cuerpo que habíamos encontrado. Vamos a ver qué es lo que pasa. Entrada a la cripta 22 de enero de 1793. The Ripples.
Louis, the conference is about to start any minute. This is not the time to be... Damn it. What's going on?
I don't know exactly, Mr. President. I was looking for my mother and I came upon this body.
My
Lo encontré
God.
por ahí.
You don't think Sarah did it, do you?
No, I don't think so. Why would she have attacked a servant?
Que más que suficiente, no. Veo
If
innecesario
no one
utilizar
saw
ese
you,
punto.
I'd advise you not to get involved, Louis, so that no one will accuse you of the murder. Ah, darn, the conference is starting. Time is of the essence. Sort this out and join us as quickly as you can in the conference room. Everyone will be expecting you.
Mr. President, this is not really the right time, and I didn't come for that.
Your mother's seat cannot remain vacant. You must replace her while she's still missing. Your mother and I were to support Mortimer on this project. I don't know what the subject is, but the future of our countries depends on it. Given the importance of all this to Mortimer, he won't let the conference begin without you. So if you don't want more servants coming looking for you, I'd advise you to join us quickly and to put a brave face on it. The best favor you can do for yourself, Louis, and for Sarah, is to come and support Mortimer's project at the conference.
Lo mejor que puede hacer por usted y por Sara es volver a apoyar el proyecto del mundo. Cuente con ello, no comprometerse. Bueno, la verdad es que si estamos entre la espalda y la pared,
Don't worry. You can count on me, Mr.
hagamos de
President.
abogados al
I
diablo.
shall help you with Mortimer's project as soon as I've finished up here.
Good, Louis. Sarah would be proud of you. I'll stall them while you're on your way,
Eres un
but
psíquico.
make haste.
No me
I'm
guste la boca.
going. Don't be long.
Tell them that I'm on my way.
Buscar pistas sobre la presencia de Sara, de Richard o vea la conferencia. Hagamos, no mentira. Vamos a buscar, vamos a ver quién es este pobre hombre.
Oh, he's dead. What the hell's been going on here?
El primero. Pensé que iba a examinar el cuerpo. No lo iba a saltar.
Let's see what secret's hidden under these masks. His face doesn't ring a bell. I'm a bit disappointed. Might have expected more from Lord Mortimer.
Examinar el cuerpo.
Somebody smashed in the back of his head with something. He slowly bled to death. But that isn't what killed him. They broke his neck. Mother, if this is your doing, the situation is getting worse and worse.
Cuerpo.
Well, the gate is locked. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Acá tenemos varias cosas.
Leftover food. Not exactly fresh. Must have been here for a while. Leftover food. Not exactly fresh. Must have been here for a while. An old blanket. From the looks of it, it couldn't have kept her very warm. Someone's made a fire here. And the ashes are still warm. If you're the one who did it, Mother,
Durmieron con el
it
cuerpo
couldn't
al
have been
costado.
easy with only one
Increíble.
hand. I must have just missed her. If only I hadn't wasted so much time getting out of Lord Mortimer's study.
Bueno. ¿Más? ¿Nada más? ¿En serio? No sé. Sé que iba a haber otra cosa, pero nada. Bueno. Vámonos antes que llamemos la atención. El Lord Morty. Fracasar a poco. Voy a buscarme aquí. ¿Saben? Este es un buen laberinto. Wow, un libro. Mira, y dejé esto. Entre la que viene si se todo esto bien. Aquí tengo todo. Invitación de Mortimer, carta de Peggy, Sara, carta de Sara. Nota de la Biblia. Calamita. Todas las llaves que no utilizo. Lógica. 30 monedas. Quiero más jalea. Voy a comenzar a utilizar las llaves, ¿no? De que había visto algo por aquí. Bueno, hay un invitado, no creo, bueno, un sirviente no creo que me deje pasar. Segundo. También. Cuando quiero.
Hey, a Russian ruble. I wonder what it'd be worth today.
Y esta es otra área, pero. Oh. La mesa redonda. Ese Morty exagera, no exacerba gastos. La mesa redonda, todavía asientos de mármol. A simple vista se ve que es mármol. Ese Perú está más serio. Asiste a la conferencia. Vete con Lord Morty. Primero vamos a mirar qué es lo que hay por acá. Nada.
Amber.
Bien. ¿Hay algo?
Pound.
Libra.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last. And he could not help answering her, but she
Bien,
said
jalea.
being spoken
Y
to.
ahora le
But
puedo.
it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong,
Creo que
I
es.
assure you.
I have suspected it for some time, but now I am convinced.
I have already told her so once, by your desire.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
Yes, because she asked him at last. And he could not help answering her, but she said
Y
being spoken to.
otra monedita.
A pound.
Eso es Luis.
But with respect to any other living characteristic, I do not imagine
Jalea.
it has been unfolded.
By all that I have ever read, I'm convinced that it is very common indeed.
Now, if you are serious about it, I'm
Quiero hablar con él.
absolutely settled.
Certainly, sir.
Ah,
Allowing the case, however, to stand according to your representation, you must remember.
Vamos a hablar con la gente pituca. A ver, mis estimados chismosos.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before beginning. What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference. I hope I'll be able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to
Más
talk to you,
cortante.
Louis. Don't make him wait.
Ahora tiene que esperar porque yo estoy en otra cosa. De ahí hablamos con el solitario, pero...
Good evening, gentlemen. Are we ready? The much-awaited conference is about to begin?
That is what we have all been waiting for.
I believe that Lord Mortimer wishes to speak to you before it begins. You should go and see him. Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake?
Y por último, el amigo...
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him.
I have suspected him for some time, but now
What frightens you so much about him?
Are you quite sure?
Hurry up. He's waiting for you.
¿En serio?
Make haste, Riche. Mortimer's waiting for you.
¿Ve más directo? Creo que sí tiene miedo, pero de algo que muy pronto lo vamos a saber.
Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you. Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly, but what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry, you are not alone, Louis.
Very well.
¿Qué consiste la conferencia? ¿Cómo funciona la conferencia?
In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two masters of ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the masters of ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two masters of ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Ya. Tengo más preguntas. ¿En qué
Can you give me a
consiste?
brief explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
¿Más preguntas? Debemos guiar el destino de nuestros dos países por el bien común y no volver a sufrir los caprichos de la historia. Hace mucho que existe la conferencia, se reúnen a menudo. ¿Qué decisiones importantes han logrado orquestar?
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it, for example.
La Revolución de Estados Unidos, de las 13 colonias.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Y hasta yo estoy con la misma cara de Luis, más sorprendido que nunca. Increíble que ellos puedan orquestar todo esto. Vale.
Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French.
Actualmente es territorio español, pero quiere proponer a la Asamblea Constitucional.
But how does that concern me?
Well, you see, I prepared this project with your mother. We began thinking about a crazy idea. Unfortunately, Sarah went missing before getting the bigger picture. I don't intend to stop at Louisiana. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
Interesante. Francia y Estados Unidos, ¿qué vanguardia tiene este proyecto? Sigo sin entender. ¿Hasta dónde va su proyecto?
Lord Mortimer, I'm sure you're aware that Louisiana is hardly prime quality land. I wouldn't be exaggerating to call it marshland. How is acquiring land they won't know what to do with going to strengthen the United States?
Think further, Louis. The United States won't stop there. Once they've acquired Louisiana, nothing will stop them. All they would have to do then is keep pushing toward the west to take the whole North American continent.
So you intend to get rid of the Spanish?
They are purely transitory. This is the settlers' home. It is natural for them to want to develop their nation to become one of the greatest powers of this world. As for the Spanish, there are just a handful of them actually on site, and if need be, we'll see to it that they are sufficiently occupied in Europe so that their focus is not on the North American continent. Moreover, Spain really only cares about its colonies in South America. It's hardly my fault if they are not capable of seeing the potential in the North American territories. The concept of royalty is from bygone times. It is time to lead the way to democracy. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you, like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts. My friends, I propose we get started.
Bien, vamos a tener una reunión o un debate interesante. Vamos a ver qué pasa.
First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur. I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our
Está
visit.
insultando a la madre
The
de
Order's
Luis.
mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about the King of Divine Blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
I'm sorry about the fate of the King of France, Duke Manuel. However, I'm surprised at your remark. How can a man like me have changed the course of things where a man like you, powerful, capable of influencing international politics, was unable to do any better?
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Certainly. I have a dream that our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart. Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What?
Concederla.
I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not a question.
Duke, these savages, as you call them, were there before you. They are on their homeland.
As much as the black people of Africa, Monsieur de Richet. That does not stop your dear France from massacring them and sending them like cattle to Mr. Washington's cotton plantations to provide him with cheap labor. So you keep your morals to yourself, if you please.
Senor, I would not like to be associated with that. The subject of black slaves in the United States of America is a complex subject, which we shall resolve at a future date.
Desafiar, ansia. El tema de los esclavos negros es hijo de perra. El tema de los esclavos negros en Estados Unidos de América es un asunto que debemos resolver. ¿Qué hago? ¿Insulto o desafío? Insulto o desafío. Insulto.
It obviously doesn't stop you from sleeping at night.
Not in the least. Do not imagine I have anything against the American Indians or the blacks. That is not the question. But business is business. It is the natural order of things, Monsieur de Richet. There have always been men who govern other men. That is simply the way it is.
And it might as well be the likes of you who rule. Is that right?
But of course.
Come now, my friends. Let us not digress. Anyway, these primitive people have no souls, Louis. We bring the good word to them in order to save them. You'll see. Colonization brings with it many benefits, too. Excuse me, if you don't mind, Your Eminence, I shall continue. Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
Dice, ¿no cree usted, Monseñor Richet, entiende algo de la propuesta? Proteger por... No, es agua del Carmen.
If I were you, Senor Godoy, I would think twice before stirring up a scandal.
I beg your pardon?
Given the size of your colonies, you won't be able to keep them for long. A number of countries are eyeing them as we speak. The United States would have no trouble taking them. For all intents and purposes, you have no army in place. By wanting to keep everything, you risk losing it all, especially your colonies in South America, which are far more valuable to you.
Toma.
That is indeed the danger, Duke Manuel. If it comes to war over Louisiana, you will lose. And probably a good deal more than you now imagine.
Young man, you are indeed a dark horse, aren't you?
Que te salvaste de que te dijera hijo de...
I find your project mostly disfavors me.
Ya, pues
I
yo,
thought
ya
you were my
comienzas
friend.
también.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
De hecho, que no sabe.
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Dice Francia proteger a los cristianos. Francia no necesita la opinión del Papa. Que,
Your Eminence, have no fear over that. I am sure France will do everything in its power to protect the Christians of Louisiana.
My young friend, how can you come out with such a remark after the discussion we had on the evening of your arrival? If France was so respectful of worship, it would not be bleeding priests as it is doing at this very moment in time. Don't be naive. This is politics. The Holy See must be concerned at seeing such a large territory falling into the hands of the French. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso.
Que el rey es la divina representación, la máxima representación de Dios.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
I assure you, Emily, the Prussian will never accept this agreement. Volner looks like he's set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are great times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are, William. See where your projects have taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory, I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Que hace rato... No, es que Morty dice que los aristócratas, perdón, van a querer defender su posición. Y supuestamente acá Morty está proponiendo una nueva reforma. Me pica la curiosidad por saber qué dice Hon. Pero Mortimer... Vamos con Mortimer.
As for me, I think I shall remain with Lord Mortimer, Sir Gregory.
You are committing a grave error, Louis.
Time will tell.
Mínimo. Es que me pica por saber qué es lo que va a pasar con Mortimer.
My friends, I would like to thank you for staying.
Good God, William. What is this I hear about you reinforcing military power in Louisiana? I have no interest in having France for a neighbor, and you know that very well.
Calm down, George. Louis, explain our plan to Mr. Washington, please.
You see, Mr. President, Lord Mortimer anticipates that once France obtains Louisiana, they will cede it to you.
What do you mean? To us? The United States?
You heard right.
But
President Washington, the United States will double in size.
By what miracle have you...
You need to expand, George. You and France are the two major democracies in the modern world. It is necessary that you both become superpowers.
Are you really going to sponsor democracy throughout the world?
Of course, Monsieur Peru. That's why I don't want Spain to get too attached to those weapons. Please continue, Louis. Explain my vision to Mr. President.
By going through France, Spain won't suspect that it's you who's going to take possession of Louisiana. They'll even believe that France will be a protective buffer between itself in California and you on the East Coast. If Senor Godoy was afraid that you might take the territory by force, now he's reassured. You would never attack France.
But why didn't you tell me before?
So, Home doesn't see it coming. But by the time it dawns on Senor Godoy, it'll be too late because he'll realize that he's just lost all the North American continent. We all know that you won't stop once the path is cleared before you.
What do you mean?
You see, Monsieur Peru, it's very likely that once Louisiana becomes American, President Washington will push out even more and take the West Coast.
William, you haven't changed. Always one step ahead.
One step ahead? You're joking. More like 5.
On that note, my friends, it's getting late.
Mr.
Mr. President, continue to take offense over my project when we resume the conference in the morning. You do it to a T. And if Sir Gregory has the audacity to send you an emissary to convince you to go against me, do me a favor. String him along if you can. The more they believe we are divided, the more we'll have our hands free.
Only too happy to oblige.
Now, let us get some rest. We've got a big day tomorrow. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Emocionado, Georgie, no supo ahí qué hacer.
Louis, if you have a minute, I would like to ask a favor of you. I'm going to require your services.
How can it be of help? Tell me all about it.
Our adversaries are many, and the closing vote of the conference will soon be upon us. Time is of an essence, so I'll need you to assist me this evening.
How can I help?
I need you to go this very evening to persuade Senor Godoy to join us. He is the backbone of Gregory's resistance. Turn him round, and all the others will follow in such a stampede that Gregory will be able to do nothing but admit defeat.
Lord Mortimer, with all due respect, don't you think I'm the last person Godoy wants to talk to?
I'm sure you can do it. I believe in you.
No, porque me está diciendo todo. O bueno, hay cosas que me ocultará. O sea, de hecho que me está ocultando algo.
If you believe that's the best way, then...
Nevertheless, I wouldn't bring up all the habits and customs of the court with him too much. I sense he's on edge at the moment. I doubt he'll be able to abide by the rules of etiquette that befit his rank.
Thanks for the
Esa pregunta
advice.
está por demás.
However,
Yo sé que me está ocultando
It
algo.
must be done for the conference tomorrow morning. It's important to me.
I'll go straight away.
Thank you, my boy. And get some rest
Chacho.
afterwards. Big day tomorrow.
Muchacho, yo no soy tu muchacho. Bueno, gente, esta conversación como que se alargó un poco. Vamos a ver, en todo caso, en el próximo episodio, vamos a ver qué es lo que sucede. Vamos a ver si logro convencer al señor Manuel Godoy. ¿Ya? Bueno, sin nada más que decirles, muchachos, los dejo y nos estamos viendo en la próxima aventura de Council. Cuídense, nos vemos, un abrazo y